At Sophia's birthday party, she raised her glass, smiled at me and said, "You are the best friend anyone could ever ask for." Meanwhile, I just stood there, frozen, realizing I had spent the last 5 years acting like her boyfriend. I didn't say a word. I simply walked out. She never saw it coming, and honestly, I don't think she believed I'd actually disappear. I'm a 29-year-old guy, and for half a decade, I truly believed I was in a committed relationship. Then, in front of a crowd, Sophia referred to me as nothing more than her best friend. Am I insane for thinking otherwise? Right now, I'm sitting in my car in a Starbucks parking lot, still trying to make sense of what went down last night. I need another set of eyes on this situation because I can't tell if I'm losing it or if I've been living in some elaborate fantasy for 5 long years. To me, Sophia and I were building a relationship. Looking back, though, she never once said we were actually dating. We first met in college through mutual friends, and I was hooked right away. She was gorgeous, hilarious, and had this magnetic charm. Like she could make you feel like the only guy in the world, as long as it benefited her in some way. For years, I played the part of the perfect boyfriend. I was up at dawn to drive her to the airport for work trips. I hauled her furniture every time she moved apartments, 3 times in total. When her car died last year, I loaned her mine for 2 weeks without complaint. 6 months ago, when she was strapped for cash and worried about rent, I quietly sent her $1,200 without her asking. I showered her with gifts, birthdays, Christmas, random just because surprises. I was the one she called when she had a meltdown after work. When she caught COVID last winter, I brought soup and groceries, checked in daily, and practically nursed her back to health. We were together constantly. Movies, restaurants, weekend getaways, it felt like we were building memories. I met her entire family, and her parents adored me. They'd tease us and ask when the wedding was happening. For 5 years, I showed up at every milestone, every family event, every celebration. And here's the kicker. Despite all that, Sophia never once flat out said we were a couple. Whenever people asked about us, she dodged the question with lines like, "Ethan is the most important person in my life," or, "We share something really special." And when I pressed her about making things official, she'd brush it off, claiming she wasn't ready for labels, or that she didn't want to ruin what we had. I swallowed it every time, convincing myself she just needed more space, more patience, more understanding. My buddy Lucas tried to snap me out of it for years, warning me I was deep in the friend zone. But I never bought it. How could I be just a friend when I was paying her bills, taking care of her when she was sick, and spending nearly every week by her side? And it wasn't like we had zero intimacy. We held hands, cuddled during movies, and she stayed over sometimes. Sure, we never slept together, but she always said she wanted our first time to be special. I believed her. So, when her 28th birthday rolled around, I thought maybe this was finally the night she'd acknowledge us in front of everyone. I had spent weeks helping her plan, picked out the decorations, covered most of the catering costs, handled the details. 20 or so people came, her coworkers, her college friends, her family. When the moment came, I was in the kitchen refilling drinks, and Sophia stood up to give a toast. She thanked everyone for coming, then turned toward me with this sweet smile. "But especially, I want to thank Ethan. He's the best friend anyone could ever ask for. Loyal, generous, always there when I need him." The room clapped. People went, like it was the sweetest thing in the world. Meanwhile, I felt like I'd been sucker punched. Best friend. That's all I was to her. After everything, that's how she defined me. I stayed through the rest of the party, moving like I was on autopilot. When it wrapped up, Sophia hugged me and whispered, "Thanks for making tonight perfect. You always take such good care of me." On the drive home, I didn't even turn on the radio. Just silence. I kept replaying it in my head. Her voice calling me her best friend like that was simply understood, and the way everyone nodded like it was obvious. Now I can't shake this thought. Was I imagining the whole relationship? Were all the things I thought were romantic just friendship? When she held my hand, was that just platonic affection? When she said I was the most important person in her life, did she mean like a brother? Not like a partner? But then, what kind of friend covers your rent or gives up his car for you? What kind of friend becomes your main emotional crutch, the one your parents ask about marriage with? It feels like I woke up in some alternate universe where the last 5 years means something totally different than I believed. This morning, Lucas asked how the party went. I told him what happened, and he just texted back, "Dude, I'm sorry. I tried to warn you." And maybe he's right. Maybe I've been delusional this whole time. But if that's true, what the hell have I been doing with my life? So here's my question. Am I insane for thinking I was in a relationship? Is this really just what friends do for each other? Or have I been getting strung along for 5 years straight? Edit. A lot of folks are asking about intimacy. Yeah, we've kissed a few times, but every time it started to go further, Sophia would stop and say she wanted to take it slow. That physical stuff made things complicated. I always respected that, figuring we'd get there when she was ready. Edit 2. Someone asked if she was dating other people. I never had proof, but now that I think about it, there were times when she was vague about her plans or who she was with. I never questioned her. I trusted her. Update 1. It's been 2 weeks since the party, and after reading through everyone's feedback, I've had to face the hard truth. I've been deep in the friend zone for years, and I just didn't want to admit it. So I tried an experiment. I pulled back. No more boyfriend behavior. I stopped dropping everything to answer her texts. I stopped playing chauffeur and handyman. I stopped buying gifts and being available 24/7. I treated her like what she always claimed I was, a friend. The results were eye-opening. Day 3. Sophia texted asking if I could drive her to a work event because Uber was too pricey. I told her I was busy. She shot back 3 messages asking what I was doing and if I could rearrange. Day 5. She called me in tears after a fight with her boss. Normally, I would have shown up with ice cream and spent hours letting her vent. Instead, I told her that sounded rough and suggested she lean on her other friends. She was stunned that I didn't rush over. Day 7. She texted asking if I wanted to see a movie. I said sure. But when she asked me to pick her up, I told her I'd meet her at the theater. Her response? Why are you acting so weird about driving? Day 10. Sophia's kitchen faucet started leaking, so she called me up, expecting me to come over and fix it like always. I'm an engineer and I've patched things at her place plenty of times before, but this time I told her she should call a plumber. She sounded surprised, almost hurt, and said, "But you always help me with this stuff." I just said, "Yeah, but I think you should handle your own home repairs." Day 14. Yesterday, Sophia showed up at my apartment out of the blue. She looked upset and confused, like I'd committed some crime by not being at her beck and call. "What's going on with you?" she asked. "You've been acting so distant. Did I do something wrong?" I told her I'd been thinking hard about our relationship, or whatever it is, and trying to figure out what we actually mean to each other. She looked at me like the answer was obvious. "We're best friends." "Exactly," I said. "And since we're best friends, I've started treating you like one, not like a boyfriend." That threw her off. "What do you mean?" "I mean, for the past 5 years, I've been playing boyfriend, paying your bills, being your emotional support system, dropping everything whenever you needed me. But at your birthday party, you made it clear that I'm just your friend." Her face twisted like she wasn't ready for that truth. "That's not what I meant," she stammered. "You're my best friend. That's not a bad thing." "It's not bad," I said, "but it's also not what I thought we were." She sat down on my couch, staring at me like I was speaking another language. "I don't get it. Why are you pulling away? We have something good. Why change it?" "Because I want to be with someone who sees me as a partner," I told her flatly, "not as a service provider." That hit her wrong. She got defensive, saying it was unfair, that she never asked me to do all those things for her. And sure, technically she's right, I volunteered. I thought I was being a good boyfriend. But then she said something that made everything crystal clear. "You've always been so good to me, Ethan. No one else takes care of me the way you do. I don't want to lose that." Not me. Not, "I don't want to lose you." What she didn't want to lose was that, the services, the convenience, the free labor. After she left, I called Lucas to vent. He listened, then said, "Man, she's not freaking out because she's losing you. She's panicking because her emotional ATM just cut her off. She doesn't miss you. She misses the things you did for her." And he's right. Looking back, the pattern is obvious. Sophia always had someone else for romance. There was Owen in year 2, casual dates. Then Julian in year 3, a short fling. Noah last year, who she told me she was exploring something with. And every time one of those guys disappointed her, she came running back to me for comfort and stability. I was the constant, the guy who patched up the holes and carried the weight. I was never her first pick for love. I was her first pick for labor. That realization stings, but it also clears the fog. For the first time in 5 years, I can see this for what it is. I don't know my exact next step yet, but I do know one thing. I can't go back to the way things were. Edit. A lot of people are asking why I never escalated things physically. Truth is, I was scared of ruining what we had. And every time I tried, Sophia always had some excuse. The timing wasn't right. She wanted to take things slow. She didn't want to complicate things. Now I see the truth. The timing was never going to be right. Edit 2. Someone asked if Sophia is dating now. I don't know, but based on her history, I'd bet money she's got another guy lined up for romance, while still expecting me to handle the support side. Update 2. It's been a month since I started pulling back, and things have gotten messy. Sophia's reaction to losing her built-in support system has been telling. For the past 2 weeks, she's been ramping up her attempts to reel me back in. First, it was daily texts and calls. Then, multiple times a day. When I didn't answer, she called from different numbers, even got mutual friends to check on me. Her messages, a masterclass in manipulation. I'm really struggling right now, and I need my best friend. Why are you abandoning me when I need you most? This isn't like you. You've always been there for me. And the kicker, I'm scared. I'm losing the most important person in my life. Notice what's missing? Any acknowledgement of my feelings. Any sign that she realizes I might have needs of my own. Every message is about what she's losing, what she needs, how my boundaries are affecting her. Then last Tuesday, she crossed the line. She showed up at my job, crying, saying she was worried about me because I was acting different. She begged me to grab lunch, and against my better judgment, I agreed. At the restaurant, she launched into how confused she was. She said our friendship had always been perfect, and she couldn't understand why I'd want to change it. I just feel like you don't care about me anymore, she said, eyes watering. You used to be so thoughtful, so attentive. Now I feel like I don't matter to you. I asked her what she meant by thoughtful and attentive. You know, she said, you used to bring me coffee when I was stressed. You'd help me without me even asking. You made me feel special. So, I asked, you miss the things I did for you? She nodded. I miss feeling like someone cared about me that much. I pressed her a little. And what about me, Sophia? What do you think I was getting out of this relationship? Relationship? She looked offended. We're friends. Best friends. I thought you were happy. Happy doing what? I shot back. Being your driver? Your handyman? Your emotional support animal? She folded her arms. I never asked you to do those things. You're right. You never did. But you always accepted, and you never gave anything back. I gave you my friendship. What does your friendship look like? What do you do for me? That one stopped her cold. She stared at me, searching for an answer. Finally, she muttered, I listen when you need to talk. When was the last time I called you with a problem? I asked. Another long pause. I don't remember. You never seem to have problems. Everyone has problems, Sophia. You just never asked about mine. And then she said the words that ripped the blindfold off completely. But that's what I love about you. You're so stable and reliable. You don't need anything from me. You just take care of things. There it was. The ugly truth laid bare. She loved that I required nothing. She loved that I poured everything into her without expecting anything back. I wasn't her boyfriend. I wasn't even really her friend. I was her unpaid assistant who got the occasional privilege of holding her hand. I finally asked her the question that had been eating me alive. Sophia, do you have any romantic feelings for me at all? She shifted in her seat, clearly uncomfortable. Our relationship is more important than romance. It's deeper than that. That's not an answer, I told her. Why does it matter? We already have something special. It matters, I said, my voice breaking a little. Because I've been in love with you for 5 years, and I need to know if there's even the slightest chance you'll ever feel the same. She went quiet for what felt like forever. When she finally spoke, her voice was soft. I don't think of you that way, Ethan. I never have. You're like family to me. Family. After 5 years of acting like her boyfriend, I was family. And just when I thought she couldn't gut me more, she kept talking. I know you love me, and I care about you too, but in a different way. Isn't that enough? Why does everything have to change? We were happy before. You were happy before. That's when I realized just how delusional I'd been. She reached across the table, grabbed my hand, and pleaded, "Please don't do this. I need you in my life. No one else treats me the way you do." "I know," I said, pulling my hand away. "And that's the problem." I paid for lunch, stood up, and left her sitting there. When I got home, my phone was flooded with texts from her. "You've changed so much. The old Ethan wouldn't have been so cruel. I don't even know who you are anymore." And she was right. The old me wouldn't have set boundaries. The old me would have apologized and gone right back to being her unpaid assistant. But I'm not that guy anymore. Edit. People keep asking if I'll go no contact. After that conversation, I'm strongly considering it. It's clear she's incapable of seeing me as anything other than a resource. Edit 2. A lot of you pointed out that when she said, "No one else treats me the way you do," she was basically admitting she knew she was taking advantage of me. That one hit me hard. Final update. Yesterday morning, I sent Sophia one last message. "Sophia, I've realized something important these past few months. We were never in a relationship. We weren't even truly friends. I was your unpaid support staff, and you were comfortable taking everything I gave while offering nothing meaningful in return. I don't blame you for accepting what I gave freely, but I can't keep living like that. I wish you well, but we won't be speaking again." Then I blocked her phone, email, social media, everything. It didn't take long for her to start trying to reach me through other people. Lucas told me she called him crying, saying I was throwing away years of friendship over nothing. Bless him, Lucas didn't sugarcoat a thing. He told her exactly what he thought of how she treated me. He said she looked genuinely shocked that anyone would dare call her out. She even tracked down my coworker Emma on LinkedIn, asking for my work email because Ethan blocked me everywhere, and I need to make sure he's okay. The desperation might have been flattering once. Now, I see it for what it is, panic about losing her support system, not losing me. But the most telling move came through my neighbor. Sophia slipped her a note to give to me. It said, "I know you're angry, but please don't let pride ruin the best thing in both our lives. I'm willing to compromise if you are. Just talk to me." Compromise. After 5 years of me giving everything and her giving nothing, she was suddenly willing to compromise. That note proved she still didn't get it. She thought this was a negotiation, like she could offer scraps to get her full-service arrangement back. But I'm done bargaining for basic respect. Since then, I've started therapy to understand how I let myself end up in this role for so long. My therapist said something that hit me like a hammer. People will treat you exactly as well as you require them to. If you require nothing, that's what you'll get. And that's exactly what happened. For 5 years, I required nothing from Sophia, and she gave me nothing. The silver lining? Cutting her out of my life has been unbelievably freeing. I hadn't realized just how much mental and emotional energy I was burning on managing her problems. Without that constant drain, I suddenly have time for my friends, my hobbies, my own life. I've reconnected with people I'd neglected. I've picked up hobbies I shelved years ago. I even went on a date last weekend with someone who seemed genuinely interested in me as a person, not in what I could do for them. Looking back, I don't regret caring about Sophia. I regret not recognizing the difference between generosity and being used. Real love requires give and take. Real friendship means seeing the other person as a full human being, not just a resource. Sophia never saw me. She saw a driver, a handyman, an ATM, a therapist, a cheerleader. And the moment I stopped filling those roles, I stopped existing in her world. That hurts, but it's also the cleanest kind of freedom. I spent 5 years trying to earn love from someone who was never capable of giving it. Now I can finally pour that energy into people who are. 3 days ago, I accepted a job offer in Portland. Great career move, sure. But honestly, the best part is that it's a clean slate. A place where Sophia can't track me down through random friends or neighbors. I'm not running away from her. I'm running toward a better version of myself. I'm 29 years old, and for the first time, I finally understand my worth. Feels incredible. Edit. Sophia somehow found this post. She sent me a long email through a mutual friend, begging me to take it down because it makes her look bad. That email only confirmed what I already knew. She still doesn't get it. The problem wasn't miscommunication. The problem was that she never valued me as a person. I'm not taking anything down. This is my story. Edit 2. Quick Portland update. I start my new job in 2 weeks. A lot of you asked if I'm worried about finding someone new. Honestly, no. For the first time in years, I'm more excited about finding myself than finding someone else. Edit 3. Funny enough, Gabriel texted me yesterday with some news about Sophia. Apparently, she's been trying to date, but it's not going well. She went out with a few guys, but got frustrated that they didn't immediately start doing all the things I used to do. Covering her expenses, dropping everything for her, rearranging their schedules to suit hers. One guy even told Gabriel's girlfriend that Sophia seemed to expect boyfriend-level treatment from day one, without giving much in return. I guess it's harder to replace a free full-service boyfriend than she thought.